The sun was important to the beginning of life on Earth for one reason: to provide the heat that kept water in a liquid state. Life on Earth began at the bottom of the oceans. It began in hydrothermal vents. These vents are even hotter than the Earth's surface, so the sun is not the only source of heat on our planet. The Earth's core is also a huge source of heat. This heat is carried to the surface by magma. It keeps the Earth at a habitable temperature and liquid. So when life began on Earth, it didn't even know the sun existed, let alone that it needed the sun. But is that still true today? Imagine a world without the sun. Without the sun's gravity, the solar system begins to fall apart. Planets, asteroids, and comets will be thrown out into space and start moving in a random way. The disappearance of the sun would be a catastrophe not only for the Earth, but for the whole solar system. It would be the tragic story of a system lost in the darkness of the universe. But no force in the universe can act instantaneously and cannot exceed the speed of light. After the sun disappeared, it took 8 minutes and 20 seconds for the world to notice. That's how long it takes for light and gravitational waves from the sun to reach the Earth. Humanity would continue to see the sun and orbit around it for 8 minutes and 20 seconds after the sun disappeared, and would not notice anything. But when the gravitational waves from the sun's disappearance finally reached the Earth, the sun we see in the sky would suddenly disappear, and the Earth would be thrown into space in a straight line instead of moving in an elliptical orbit from wherever it was in orbit at that moment. The biggest effect we would notice would be that everything would suddenly go dark. It wouldn't be like we described in the moon or electricity video, but a deeper darkness. With no sunlight to reflect, the moon would be invisible. We would only be able to see a few distant stars. Then our planet would start to cool rapidly. Without the heating effect of the sun, the average temperature would fall below 0 degrees C within a week, and to 40 degrees C within a month. Within a year, even the surface of the oceans would freeze. The absence of the sun changes pressure and temperature differences in the atmosphere. This would affect winds, rain patterns, and ocean currents, leading to dramatic changes in climate. Glaciers would expand rapidly at the poles, temperatures would drop at the equator, the oceans would freeze rapidly, and most marine life would disappear. Many plant species would disappear within a few days. Plants would die because they would not get the sunlight they need for photosynthesis. This would lead to a massive loss of vegetation on Earth. A bigger problem than oxygen would have been the extinction of herbivores with the death of plants and the consequent extinction of carnivores. Now livestock and crops would rapidly disappear. The world would have a huge food problem. Meeting basic needs such as food, water, and heating would become a major struggle, and many people would die of starvation and malnutrition. In this situation, more than half of the world's 8 billion people would quickly disappear. However, some communities could survive in the absence of the sun through technological solutions, such as artificial light sources, synthetic food, underground shelters, and alternative energy sources, since the number of people with access to these technologies would be very, very small. Our world would never look the same again. And our planet, once full of green forests, blue seas, and shining cities, would turn into a soulless, frozen landmass. Can we survive in a world where the sun has disappeared? Join us on a journey of infinite unknown possibilities. Don't forget to like and subscribe.